if I don't do it now, it'll be too late and I might regret it. And I'd rather regret doing something than regret not doing it.
Lovely paint job that, mate, isn't it? Lovely paint job.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Keep some polishing it up because it fades a bit red, doesn't it? But it looks beautiful when they're like that, doesn't it?
You're very right about that. A lot of polishing.
Right then, Jeff, really nice to see you again. I'd be really interested in learning more about how you came to live on a narrowboat and how that experience is going for you.
I hadn't really thought about narrowboats till 6 or maybe 7 years ago when we had a hire boat holiday, and to be honest, I absolutely hated it. Really did. Couldn't get off the boat fast enough, although my partner loved it. So much so that she booked us another holiday the year after. And that was a much bigger boat. This is a 40-foot boat, and that one was, I think, 65 feet long. So I had another go, and I found I could steer that one very well, and suddenly I was hooked. Really enjoyed it, and thought I'd like one of these myself one day. So I finished full-time work a few years ago and thought, well, if I don't do something now, it'll be too late. So I looked around for second-hand boats, but it was quite competitive, and in the end I decided I would just bite the bullet and order one of these, which is almost the same price. This is a 40-foot Aintree Beetle, and there's a bit of a wait for it to be built. It should have taken 6 months. That's what they promised, and it took 2 years in the end. But that seems to be par for the course with a lot of boat companies. But it was delivered in November, so I've had it since last November. So I'm still very new to this game. But I think I'm adapting to it quite well. I certainly enjoy it.
So, did you have, is this the culmination of a lifelong dream for freedom and travel, or what is it? I
haven't had a lifelong dream to have a boat. I've always enjoyed traveling though. Trains in particular, I love going on trains. I'm not so keen on aircraft. I have flown a small plane as a sort of an experience thing, but trains have always been my biggest interest. And as I said, boats really only 6 or 7 years ago. Never occurred to me to have a boat, certainly on a canal. But now I'm on it, I can truly see the magic of it. It's such a peaceful, quiet, slow life compared to being stuck in a car. So I used to work full time, and I drive an hour each way to my job, and you're just like in a sardine tin, one car behind the other. It's just, and yet that's conventional, isn't it? But I could never go back to that. I'm stuck in a tin can now, but it's a long tin can, and it does 2 miles an hour. 4 on a very good day, you might get 4 miles an hour. But most of the time, your average is 2 miles an hour. And it's very tranquil, and it's very relaxing.
So it's a good way to spend time. And I mean, you mentioned earlier, would you have had some regrets if you didn't opt for this kind of lifestyle and try at least? Yes,
yeah, that's the point really. I'm quite philosophical in some ways. Some people might argue about that, but I got to the point where I thought, well, if I don't do this now, it's going to be too late, because it's quite a physical thing to manage one of these boats. Even to drive the boat, it's quite physical. So I thought, well, I've got the chance to do it now. If I don't do it now, it'll be too late, and I might regret it. And I'd rather regret doing something than regret not doing it. So I think life throws up opportunities, and you have to take them when you can.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy. And so you jumped into this life, and how's it been going? What's the reality of it?
Well, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I make my own YouTube videos, but I've learned a lot from them. So I kind of knew what to expect in many ways. But until you're actually on one of these things and getting your hands dirty, and believe me, you're always getting your hands dirty, because the ropes are filthy.
Yeah.
Going up and down logs is a very dirty process. It's slimy, they're wet, get your clothes all dirty. That kind of reality you don't really learn until you do it. And you know, the joys of having to stop to fill up your water tank regularly, get rid of your rubbish. And of course, there's the question of what you do with your toilet. So small boats like this tend to have a cassette toilet. So basically, it's just a plastic box, and you have to empty it every so often in designated places.
Oh, the glamour.
Sorry?
Oh, the glamour.
Yeah, the glamour, yeah. And but that's turned out to be not half as bad as I thought it might be, emptying the toilet. The biggest problem is finding the place where you can empty it. So the CRT has got designated places around the canals where you're supposed to dispose of your doings. So sometimes there are quite long distances between them. So you have to improvise a bit. Always keeping within the law, of course. But again, it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants the glamour of carrying a plastic box to the nearest waste disposal point. But it's a physical job as well. Driving them is quite hard work physically. You have to be able to get down through the steps. Some people find that difficult because they're quite steep. Carrying things into the boat as well. And you've got practical things like shopping. You know, where do you get your shopping from? I haven't got my car. I have a car, but it's 150 miles away. So that's no good to me there. So it's a matter of planning ahead. Where am I going to be, say, next Friday? What shops could I go to? How am I going to get there? Sometimes you can walk. I think the nearest shops around here are probably at least a mile that way. So I could walk there. But I'd probably use my bike. So having a bike and being able to use, not everyone can even ride a bike, I suppose. Being willing to ride a bike on the roads today is something of a challenge as well. So
you got to retirement, you have a nice comfortable life, and all of a sudden you decide to complicate things for yourself. What's the trade-off?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, everything is down to me on this boat. Anything I want to do, I have to do it. I have to arrange it, even if it's like making a phone call somewhere or sending an email, arranging to be somewhere. It's all down to me. Everything. Whereas if I was at home, my partner would be taking responsibility for lots of things. We'd make decisions together.
So as it stands now, you have the best of both worlds, because you choose to spend a good portion of your year being very nomadic, actually.
Yes, that's right. So as I mentioned to you before, I've got the best of both worlds, and that's largely because I've got such an understanding partner. I couldn't do this if she wasn't okay about it. Although I suspect she's probably quite happy to see the back of me for long periods of time. But she loves the boats as well, and she'll be spending time with me. But yeah, it was really a question of, do I do this now or do I let the opportunity go? Unfortunately, she was very supportive of me, and it seems to be working well so far.
Great. So can we explore your life in a bit more detail? Maybe have a bit of a walk around your boat and
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
lead the way.
Okay. Well, this is the back of the boat is called the stern. You've got to use the correct nautical terms, you know. This is the stern where you've parked your wonderful bike.
My nomadic vehicle.
Your nomadic vehicle, yeah. So my nomadic vehicle is inside the boat. So a lot of boaters keep their bikes outside, but I could never do that. That's anathema to me. Mine is inside. This is the control panel under there. It's locked at the moment. So that's where all the switches are. And that's the throttle. The engine's under here. I don't think you really want to see that. Not at the moment, anyway. So this is the stern, and then this is the way in through the hatch. So just be careful as you come in. Don't catch hold of that. There's a flying back. Just
Yeah, I'll definitely remember that.
Yeah, and just watch your head. Here we are.
Here we are.
So this is the kitchen, or the galley as is known in the marine world. I've got my sink, I've got a fridge in here, I've got my cooker, complete with my whistling kettle.
Love that whistling castle.
Yeah. Lots of cupboard space and worktops. Really nice oak worktops.
See, you don't mess about with the cookers on these boards, because this is a proper cooker, isn't it?
Yeah, this has got 3 burners. It's got a grill and it's got the oven.
Nice.
And some narrowboats have got even larger cookers, you know, the 4 hobs. Some narrowboats even have a washing machine, but that would be a much larger boat than this.
You can just wash it in the canal, can't you?
You can, yeah. have you ever looked at the water in the canal? It's not clear, you know.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, it's pretty grubby out there. Yeah. So sometimes I will put my mop in the canal to clean the decks, and you can see it's really not very clean.
Right.
But there are fish, so they seem to be okay with it.
And is you like the kitchen at the back of the boat, do you?
Yeah, this was an option when I ordered the boat. You could have the galley at the back, or you could have it halfway down the boat. And this is definitely the option I preferred, because I can just step straight in and make myself a coffee or whatever.
And you say you like the kind of minimalist, simple.
Yeah.
That's what you enjoy.
I like to think that I'm a bit of a minimalist personality. But having said that, it looks like a lot of clutter over there. But, I mean, these are all things I'm using all the time.
Yeah.
So I keep a log of my activities on the boat. You know, when I've topped up with water and how many hours the engine has done. So with a narrowboat, you don't keep a record of the miles as such. You keep a record of the number of engine hours that the engine has done.
That's an interesting point, though, because people who are inclined nomadically, they may have stuff, but we use the stuff, don't we? Like,
yeah.
It's proper valuable.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some things in the cupboards, which are at the back of the cupboards, which I don't use much. And there's storage under the saloon bench there. Yeah. But again, it's a right faff to get it out. So the stuff I don't use so much, I keep hidden away. But I'm using all this all the time. Yeah.
Cool.
This is the saloon area. I'm a big hi-fi fan at home. I've got loads of CDs and records and nice big speakers, but you can't have that on here. So I picked this up from Amazon. It's brilliant. I can play my CDs. I've got music on the USB, and I think it was about 100 quid.
Right.
And it's nice and compact.
And what are the CDs? Let's have a little goosey gander at your music.
Well, Recently I've been listening to Fairy Tale of New York endlessly
All right.
from the Pogues, yeah. And most of my CDs are in a cupboard up there.
Yeah.
But at home I've got loads and loads and loads. It's just mental. I used to buy them all. That's just a soundtrack of film Metropolis,
All right.
which was made in 1926, I think, by Fritz Lang. It's had modern music put to it. That particular one, yeah.
Very nice.
I think Queen is a part of it.
Oh yeah, I saw Freddie on there.
Yeah, he's one of the tracks. Yeah, it has got a radio built in as well. The standard with the boat, but I've not bothered with that because I've got this and I've got a little portable. But yeah.
And then we have the log burner.
We have a log burner. You can burn multi-fuel, so you can burn wood or you can burn coal briquettes. That's a coal briquette. So it's this your normal smokeless fuel stuff, really.
And that keeps you very toasty in here, does it?
The other night it was 26 degrees in here. I was absolutely boiling. But when you wake up in the mornings, it can be very cold because the heat's gone. Unless you keep the fire in overnight, which I tend not to do really, it can be really cold first thing in the morning. But when this thing gets going, it's... I did have a little stove fan on the top, which would operate from the heat, but unfortunately I knocked it over and it broke. So I need to buy another one, and I would blow the air down through the corridor towards the front a bit.
Nice.
Most of the heat though is all around this area, so it does get very hot. Yeah, very toasty. It does have central heating on the boat as well, which works off the diesel, and that blows hot air through a series of vents throughout the boat. That works very well, but I'm just mindful of the cost of burning diesel. And this is much nicer to look at.
Oh yeah.
You know, when that's glowing red and the flames are going, it's nice. One of the downsides is it's got a chimney cap outside, which you might have noticed, like a Chinese hat. And so when you're cruising along the canals, there's a lot of low-hanging branches, and if you're not careful, one of those will knock it off.
Oh, I see.
So I've nearly lost it twice. So generally when I'm cruising now, I'll take the hat off the chimney and then refit it once I stop.
And this is your kind of chill out space over here?
This is where I live, basically. So I've got a TV. Got to be honest, I don't watch an awful lot of normal TV. The television signal varies from where you are. At the moment, I'm finding this little window one actually works better than my external aerial. But it's a smart TV, so I can I can watch YouTube and everything else on there.
Excellent.
This is the where I spend most of my time, working on the laptop or watching TV, and it's where I eat. This can be converted into a double bed, but I don't think you do that in the winter if the stove was lit, because you'd be literally a foot away from the stove. So I'll do that.
And who's that fella in the corner? Is that your flatmate?
So it's an interesting question, that. I cannot remember who gave it me. So it was either my partner or it was my sister. But both of them deny giving it to me. So it's strange. I mean, he looks like a pirate, doesn't he? So it must be something I've had in recent times, because nobody would have given me a pirate bear before I was into narrowboats.
Well, that's a proper mystery then.
That is, yeah. Yeah, he's. I'll have to practice some ventriloquism. Maybe I can make an act out of it. Just sit there most of the time.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is where I spend a lot of my time. cupboards up there. Coming through the corridor. These you have to be a bit acrobatic on these boats. This is the bathroom.
Oh, look at here.
It's quite a generous bathroom on these boats. It's a proper shower. Nice hand basin, lots of storage room.
It's a lot of space for a bathroom.
Yeah. That's a cassette toilet. Yeah. So when I do my washing, I put my clothes area in there for things to drip.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then coming through then is the front of the boat, the bow as they call it. So it's a conventional double bed. Storage underneath. 3 nice big lockers. And then there's more storage underneath that side. And a wardrobe. It's not gigantic, so you couldn't get a lot of clothes in there, but it's quite deep. So you can keep things down the bottom.
And the view out the window to wake up to.
You do, yeah. Nice roller blinds.
Is that still novel? Are you still getting used to that, waking up to water level views?
Yes, depends where you're moored as to what you can see. So you might just see a brick wall. But generally there's something nice to look at. The only thing you have to be mindful of is people can look in as well. So if I went to bed and I left the blinds up and people walked along, say at 6 o'clock in the morning, they'd be able to look straight in on me. So you're a little bit like a goldfish in a bowl in one of these things. So I would tend to have it down so far, but not all the way. But yeah, it's really nice, and you wake up early because the light. There's so many different gaps in the windows. I sleep like a log on here.
Really?
Absolutely.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know whether it's the gentle rocking of the boat, whether it's the fresh air that I've had during the day, because you get an awful lot of fresh air. I'm not really sure, but I really do sleep very, very well.
It is, as we walk along the boat here now, that gentle rocking is quite something. Yeah.
I mean, some narrowboats rock a bit more than others. I think these possibly rock a bit more because I've heard that some don't. But and every time a boat goes by, of course, you'll know all about it as well. But yeah, I really sleep very well. Yeah. And then that's the way out the front.
Front door.
This is known as the bow. So I've got 2 bags of coal at the moment over there, so I can't open that door all the way. A little locker there for water pipes and things like that.
And you got your bike stored?
So I keep my bike by here. It's a folding bike, and I take it out that way. It's a bit of a palaver negotiating this step and then climbing outside of the boat. But it's like everything on these boats. You adapt. Yeah,
I think that's
just about high enough for me.
And that's the thing about this. You see some videos or some documentaries, and it's all very glamorous and things. But actually, there's a lot of very real, practical things to take care of here.
Every day, I'm coming across something or other, and I think, well, how can I do that? Or I might be out and about, and I'll think, that's a good idea. What he's done with that boat. I'll try doing that. So, for example, the other day I was moored up somewhere else. And the bank, there was a concrete edge to it, and lower down there was another concrete shelf, which you can't see above the water.
Right.
And as I was mooring the boat was hitting the shelf. And I looked at another boat, and they had a wheelbarrow tire floating between the boat and the bank. It was about this big. And I was cushioning them against the thing. So I thought, oh, I'll go and get one of them.
Mm.
So I was quite lucky. I was near a B&Q and went across them. I bought 2 of them.
Mm.
So you're learning all the time. Well, I am anyway. And coming across ideas, and you pinch somebody else's idea.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking, oh, how can I do that? Or would that work? Or shall I put a shelf by there?
Mm.
Things like that.
I think a lot of van life, boat life, car life, whatever vehicle life that people are in, there is that element of that learning journey, and it's constant. Like I say, it's always on.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever stop learning on it, to be honest. It's even driving the boat itself, getting used to the feel of the engine, and at 1500 revs is like a sweet point, or is it 1600, or it's the way the boat handles as well. I'm learning all the time about it. I'm getting better. But some people have been living on these boats for years.
Yeah.
It's just been there 365 days a year. I'm quite lucky. Like I said, I've got the best of both worlds, and I could go home anytime I like. I could put this boat in a marina and put it up for sale and just go back to my normal existence. But I would certainly miss this freedom to go where I want, when I want.
Yeah.
In a place like this, you can stay for 2 days legally, and then you have to move. But in some places, you can stay for 14 days. I like the idea of moving on anyway.
Yeah. What do you think of people living like this all the time? Like maybe even foregoing or forsaking a traditional house, traditional career?
Yeah. Well, some people have done that, and I watch quite a lot of YouTubes, and some people are doing this every day, every year. That's their life. They've got no house to go back to. So I'm really lucky that I can. I really admire them because, I feel a bit of a fraud in some ways. I can abandon this and I can go back home. So I admire them enormously. They've given up a lot, but they must, like, I suppose for some people though, this was the only option they had, because they could afford to buy one of these boats. Maybe they couldn't afford a house. I really admire people like that who've really lived the lifestyle.
But as you said, the best of both worlds. It brings all to you.
I'm what the Canal Rivers Trust calls a continuous. My license is as a continuous cruiser, rather than someone who's in a marina all the time. But I kind of call myself a semi-continuous cruiser.
Yeah.
Because I could go home next weekend if I want. Or I could sort of stop any time. But some of these other people, they have no other option. They're on one of these all the time. And I really take my hat off to them. They're very skilled at the way they drive their boats as well, some of them. Much better than me. I've got a few scratches on the boat, so.
What do you think this life has given you then? Because again, you still spend a great portion of your year in this situation as a full-time narrowboater, essentially.
So it's given me the chance to see places I would never have seen. I've met a lot of people who I wouldn't have met, and it's just the chance to live life at a different pace. There are no great expectations upon me. The expectations I put on myself. I think, well, where am I going to go next? I'll do the Llangollen Canal, I'll do the Macclesfield Canal, I'll do something else. It's given me the chance to decide what I want to do.
Yeah.
I
think that's a real gift. It really is.
I feel very, very lucky. I might come across as someone who's living a charmed life, but I accept and I'm very lucky that I can do this, that I could afford to do it, and that I'm physically able to do it. I love it. I don't regret it at all. So I see no reason why that would change, unless some disaster happens, which I hope it doesn't. But yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing a glimpse of your life and your experience.
I'm in a very, very privileged position of enjoying both sides of the coin, really.
That's not a bad place to be, is it?
I ain't complaining about it. You know, I'm just saying that I'm so lucky that I can do this. So it would almost have been a crime if I didn't take this chance, I think.
That's great.
It was there for me, and I've taken it, and so far I am enjoying it.
Well, I think Gladys is pleased you're enjoying it as well.
Yeah. Well, she's named after my late mother, and she hated the name herself, but I think she'd love the boat. I think she'd love the fact that I've taken this chance to do something which I consider to be worthwhile.